Hello friends, today I'll show how to debloat Windows 10 completely. So let me show you Task Manager. Go to Performance in CPU. You can see how many processors are running. After debloating, I will show you what processors I will get, how many processors that will reduce. So first of all, go to the browser and go to the GitHub link. Otherwise, I will give in the description. Otherwise, you could type Windows 10 master script 2004 and you will get this link. So go to this link and click on here, download the zip file. So I already downloaded the zip file, so you could see. After that, so let me show you my version. I am the running latest 2004, so it will work for 1904 1909, and so this is my 2004. I am going with run as administrator. So it is asking, do you want to take restore? So make sure to restore. I already taken restore point, so I'm not going to do that. So just skip, S for skip, and enter. Do you want dark mode or light mode? D dark mode. App default mode. So it is uninstalling OneDrive. So if you use OneDrive, then you should not do this. So it is changed to blue, so I can change that later. So it is disabling Windows optional feature which are not necessary. So it is now we get apps we don't need. So I don't use Hello Space, Internet Explorer, and don't use Max Recognizer. I don't use PowerShell. I use MS Paint. If you use, just untick this Windows Media Player. If you do need for this, you do need this for gaming, so untick that. So probably I don't need in this year, but let me keep that. So if you use printfax, untick that. So go with uninstall. So it is opening settings. So if you don't use, so I will turn off all these apps in background. When I open it, I will open and close. So I don't want them in background. If you want any app to run in background, you can enable specific app. So I'm closing that. So it is asking, do you want to change the folder of desktop? No, skip. Do you want to change files folder? No. Downloads folder, music folder, picture folder, videos folder. I'm skipping all this. I don't want to change. I want to keep them default. So So it is saying unpin, so you unpin to unpin all the unnecessary. So let me go to the start. You can see it is unpinned and pinning some important control panel. So now we got Microsoft apps all. So uninstall for all other users also I don't need. So sticky notes I don't use. Tick. If you need any app, you have to untick. MS Office you use, untick that app. So I don't use all these apps because this is a virtual mixing. So photos you use, camera, calculator. So Xbox I don't use Xbox, so I'm unticking, ticking all, and we can press uninstall. If you have any specific app to your, like if you have fans control, if you have system apps, you need to untick that. So it is removing all the packages. So now it is asking Windows Defender to add any exclude file. I'm skipping this. You can add if you want to exclude any gaming. So it literally removed everything except Microsoft Store and calculator and photos what we selected. So it's completed. Now we can close the Windows PowerShell. Go to Task Manager. So it is still staying 126 processors. So this is in VirtualBox, so it is dropped down to 1.5. Okay, now we can debloat into settings. Go to settings and turn off all these which will Microsoft track. So off this also speech diagnose. So it is set to full, but you need to change to basic. If you set to full, it will send all the data unnecessarily. So feedback, never feedback, so never. And untick these two and clear the histories. So if you don't untick this, if you press Windows button and tab, you can see all your history activity, all the activities here. So Microsoft will be tracking. So if you log on your Microsoft account, so tick untick and clear. So location, camera I don't use in camera in here. This is VirtualBox. If you use, you have to enable. I don't use. So I'm which of the options you don't use, turn off all this unnecessarily. So account info, this is not necessarily. If any apps want, they will ask, then you have to enable. Contacts, calendars, obviously this is not a tab, so I don't use all this in Windows. So call history of this all. Email I don't use this. Email I use in browser email. So tasks of this as well. Messaging, so I don't use messaging. Radio, off the radio. Communicate with other device, unpaired apps, I already done this. And go back Now go back to ease of access, and if you like animations, you can enable, but it will decrease performance, so I'm disabling. So now go to most show visual feedback, they don't need. Go down to smooth edges of this as well. If you use magnifier, you can set your own settings. I don't use. So narrator, so I don't use narrator at all. Ticking all this, unticking, which is not necessary. I don't know it. Sync. Now we can go to audio, nothing there. Speech, keyboard. Now you need to off this as well. Sticky shortcuts for all this. I don't use all this. If you do use, you can enable that. And next thing, you have to go to file of this is as well. Search Microsoft account what schoolhouse. So I don't use this. Now searching. If you want search every file in your desktop, wherever it is, then you can use enhance, but I don't use. I will go with classic. You can add exclude, which we will not touch. So go back, let me go to system, scroll down, notifications on lock screen, notifications on. I'm turning out all this. So duplicating, so I'm turning off all this. Tablet mode, I don't have tablet, so don't switch. Use desktop mode. Multitasking, let me keep that on. Keyboard history, clipboard history. So I like this. If you press Windows V, you get clipboard. You can copy paste this. So if you don't use, you have to turn it off. And next, go to apps. So this I already removed using that script, so we don't need that. Go to offline maps. So I automatically update, turn off that. Now that's it here. Okay, startup apps. If you have any unnecessary startup, you can disable. So this is necessary for this. I'm keeping it on. And next, go to network. So nothing here there to turn off. Go to gaming. So if you don't use Xbox, just keep this off. And accounts, go to accounts. Automatically save the apps. I sign out and restart them after signing. So I don't want to do that, restart apps automatically when I sign out. So I'm turning it off. And one more thing, update and security delivery optimization. So it is organized. So if you can allow, if you this is allow, you have to off this, otherwise it will use your Wi-Fi to download others PC updates others. So turn that as well. So let me go back, and we need to disable services. So Windows plus services.msi, otherwise you can search here. Now click on status, 2 times you can see what are the running. So disabling core messaging, so we don't have to disable, we don't have option to disable. Okay, that's okay. Let me see what I can disable. I don't use Windows search, so put it to manual or disable. Manual is better, so stop and put it in manual. Windows update as well, you can't stop, it will take lot of resources. After stopping also, when you put on manual, you can update your manually, so it don't run background. So if you don't use Hyper-V, so virtualization, you can disable this permanently, all these. Hyper-V means virtualization. If you use virtual boxes, this needs, so don't disable. If you don't use, you have to disable this. And next, printer, go to printer, where is, okay, here is the print spooler, automatically it is set, so I don't use printer to this virtual box. So if you don't use stop, or you put it to manual, if you use. Next, go to, what are there still, okay, this is all well manual only, not a problem. Diagnostic policy tool, it is running automatically, change it to manual, we can diagnose when we need. So contact data, I don't use that. Contact, stopping that. Then if you don't use Xbox, you can disable, so it is set to manual, not a problem, it is not running. Okay, let me go close. Now you can see after disabling services, it is changed to, no, still things to do. So go to the properties, this PC and properties, go to advanced settings, go to performance settings. So if you don't want any animations or look, you can set it to adjust for best performance. Otherwise you can manually do that if you have very low end, or if you want much more performance. So I'm not going to do that. Go to remote and advanced, allow this to be remote turn off if you don't use remotely access. So then you have to change it to power plan. So my only has balance. If you have high or a Dell, or if you have any high performance, keep that to high performance. So next, what else to, I think that's it. Now we can restart the PC. Rebooted. Now I can check the, so now you can see processors when we When we open the start, we get 125 to now 103, 102. So now let's open again services. So every time you restart Windows Update app, so I spelled it wrong. Just I typed it wrong. Services.msc. Every time you boot, Windows Update will automatically enable. This time this doesn't enable. So if you can disable permanently Windows Update. If when you want, you can enable. So there is application for that. Windows Update Blocker. So this is the sodium website. Go to this website and download. I already made past this on video. You can download this and disable completely. You can get still much. So Windows Defender, go to Windows Defender. So go to manage settings. So I don't want cloud delivery protection and automatic samples, so keep these two off. And you need to enable real-time protection to don't get virus, and tamper protection also much needed to enable that. And that's it friends for this video. Thank you friends for watching this video. I will see you in my next video.